Phew, it's time for a whip and chat. Hi, welcome to Stone Magpie. Well, gosh, if I sound puffed out, it's because I've been cleaning the leather sofa. We have had my workspace decorated this week. When I say we have been doing it ourselves. Painting, all sorts. So my nails are shot. Please forgive if you think they look really scruffy, but I have literally 5 minutes ago finished washing down all the leather sofas, and I'm leaving them to dry, ready to put their protection cream on. So I thought, what better time to do a whip and chat whilst I have half an hour. We'll see. It'll probably end up being an hour, knowing me. But it'll give the sofas time to dry, and I've missed talking to you all. It seems like such a long time since I did a whip and chat, and I have to say I have been getting on with this diamond painting, as you'll see. I've done the faces. I am so in love with this picture, and I can't wait to show you the middle part of this canvas. It is stunning. So do stay tuned to see the picture of the middle. Oh, I just love, love, love it. So I thought, okay, I've got half an hour to an hour free time. I'm going to do a very quick whip and chat, catch up with you all and see how you're all doing. So I hope you're all well, and I hope that you've had a chance to do lots of diamond painting yourselves. I've been trying to do some in between the decorating issue. If you've had rooms decorated and thought, oh, it'll be quick, we're only painting a couple of walls, it'll take a day. Oh, well, I think we're about 3 days in now. All of the furniture's been shoved into my workspace, so I've not been able to use the space for the last 3 days. And I've been trying to find spaces where I could diamond paint. It's not easy on a larger canvas. And I even did an unboxing in the bedroom. So that might make you giggle if you see that. But yeah, all of the furniture is squished onto one side of my conservatory space where my table is with all my diamond painting on. So I am shoved to the side here. I can't stick my elbows out too much because there's furniture in the way. So if you can imagine that, oh dear me. But, you know, we're so addicted to diamond painting, aren't we, that we'll try and squeeze the odd time in between doing jobs and things. But it'll be great when this room is done. We've gone from having sort of a very pale, pale, pale yellow wall, almost magnolia pale, to a blue. Oh, it's the most divine blue. So I might even give you a little show of that. If I take a picture and you'll see the new paint colour. Oh, I'm in love with it. It's quite brave, isn't it, to go from a very, very pale colour to a darker colour. But this room, being attached to the conservatory, gets so much light that it won't close the room in at all. So yeah, I'm loving it. And you know what? We've got this scruffy old sofa in, like I say, and it's even made the sofa look nicer. There's one thing about leather sofas, the older they get, they suit their vintage look, don't they? So you can never go wrong with a leather sofa. So it used to look really scruffy, and now it looks okay. Quite happy with it. So there's been quite a lot happen since I last did a whip and chat, especially, I have to say, with Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth's death, her 10 days of mourning, and the incredible funeral which occurred this week. In the UK, we were given an extra bank holiday to enable us to mourn the passing of the Queen and watch the funeral on Monday. Wow, what a spectacular service, parade. Oh, I sat all day and watched it from about 8 o'clock in the morning to about 1:45. I said to my husband, I hope they have a boring bit on in a minute because I really need to get some lunch. There was no boring bit at all. So we quickly made a sandwich and went back in front of the telly and carried on watching. Oh, I tell you what, the military services were fantastic, weren't they? Parading, those, bless them, the coffin bearers were incredible. They must have been so nervous at every point in that, and they did an amazing job. The parade itself, with all of the aspects, including people walking from the NHS. Oh, honestly, it really touched me, really did. And I know not everybody agrees with the monarchy and think it's an old-fashioned view and why should they have such privilege. I'm telling you now, they work so hard to our royal family, they really do. And when you think about it, the riches that they have are not really theirs, are they? They pass them down to the next generation. You know, they can't sell their properties. They don't really own them in that respect. But it will be interesting how King Charles III changes up the monarchy. I think he's going to slim down it quite a bit, and he is so aware of the climate change, and yes, it's going to be a very interesting few years. And I wish him all the luck, because I tell you what, for all of those jewels and properties and the lifestyle, there's no way on earth I would want to do that. They give up so much of themselves to serve this country, so thank you. And Your Majesty, your funeral was incredible and really touched a lot of people. The inclusiveness of that ceremony really struck me too. I loved the fact that they had all the dominations in Westminster Abbey. Really, really interesting. Honestly, it was brilliant. So beautiful to watch. And a few gulp moments, I have to say, in the ceremony itself. Those pipers, seeing the Scots Guard with all of the different tartans marching along. Just all of it, just every aspect of it. The Navy pulling the coffin, the gun carriage, the princes and the king walking behind, Princess Anne walking behind the coffin. Another touching moment, and there were many, as you can tell probably from how I'm talking about it, there were many, but that lone piper, as he played the bagpipes in both the Abbey and in Windsor, where he turns and walks away and the music fades. What a touching moment. Really, really incredible. And didn't Prince George and Princess Charlotte, didn't they do well? Bless the little hearts. And I tell you what, Charlotte's definitely going to keep Prince George in line, isn't she? There were some moments that they made me chuckle. Princess Charlotte is only 7, And at one point I saw her turn to Prince George, who's 9, and she said, "I think you're supposed to bow." And he bowed his head, and it was as the coffin came past. And I thought, oh, she'll keep him right when it's his turn to take the throne. And King Charles III held his emotions together, but he did show a glimpse of them. And I thought, how fantastic to have a king who can keep his emotions together but still show his grief. You know, just at one point in time, the monarch was so untouchable, and now it's opening up. It's becoming more modern. With each new monarch, things are just becoming more open so that you see these people and what they do for this country. And last bit about the funeral before I move on to another topic, because I know not everybody feels the same as I do about it, but the spectacular state funeral at Westminster Abbey, all of the people that lined up to pay their respects to the coffin in the days before the actual funeral itself, just amazing stories coming out from that. And on the Monday, as I say, the state funeral, seeing all of those people arrive to pay their respects to our Queen, and then moving on to Windsor, which was a much smaller ceremony where they committed the coffin and took off the crown jewels. Just poignant moments like that it was so interesting to watch and so emotive. These absolutely stunning red ABs that I'm putting in here, they are so glorious. And I tell you what, wait till you see the overall picture, as I said at the beginning of this video, with the middle part of the two faces, because they have touches of ABs, and it is so subtle and yet so beautiful. I can't wait to show you that. Absolutely stunning. Now, as it approaches autumn, winter, I mean, we are blessed at the moment with really bright sunshine, really glorious weather at the moment in the UK, which means that I can still do my diamond painting here in the conservatory. But as it gets darker and colder, I'm going to have to change my workspace, because last year I didn't have my full-time job. I was able to continue during the day, whereas now that I work full-time, on an evening it's going to be too dark and too cold to work in here on my diamond paintings. So I will only have the weekends to do any large canvases. I'm looking at smaller canvases for over the winter period, so that I can use my spare room. I have like a fold down, what can I call it? It's a bit like, you know, the old-fashioned bureaus that are like shelves and bits and pieces, and then it has a lid that folds down and creates sort of a desk. Well, I have a modern version of that in the spare bedroom, and I can fold that desk down and do some diamond painting on there. You may well have seen the surface of that one because it is white. So, for example, when I did the drawing of the prize, I was in that room. So the only thing is that because it has a back plate to the desk, it means that I can't have the canvas over the edge. And I know some people roll their canvases and then pull them forward and work on them that way. I'm not sure. I'm going to have a try and see, but it may be that I choose some smaller canvases to work on. Let's move on to this. I won't be finishing the whole of the section during this video, but to continue, we'll see how far I get. I may just do this top bit. Let's pop. I may do to there, but again, I might not even finish the whole of this section because, as I say, this is only a quick interim in between my very important cleaning. Right, I'll finish her face here. Yeah, so during those cold months, I'm thinking of getting smaller canvases to work on so it's not as difficult. And I've even thought about working on my knee on an evening watching the telly. So I've saved a large bit of cardboard from when I bought the huge frame for my Josephine wall picture. I saved some of the cardboard box so that it's really flat and it's quite sturdy. And I'm thinking I could use that on my knee to keep the diamond painting straight. I'm thinking I might clip it with some bulldog clips to the card back and try that for a change and see if that works. So I've got little bits of options to keep diamond painting and keep warm. So tell me, I think a lot of people seem to have, you know, like the draftsman type desks rather than my dining table flat desk. People seem to use those, the ones with the lift up. The ones with the lift up tops. People seem to like those quite a lot for diamond painting. So if you're already using something similar in your lounge or, you know, in your warm space, shall we say, then let me know. I've always diamond painted on the flat. But I guess by using one of those lift-up lids, you're not bent over the diamond painting as much. So does that relieve any backache? I suppose I usually have the canvas a lot closer to me than I do when I'm filming. So I don't think I loom over my diamond painting as much as I used to. You know, where you're rounding your shoulders. I used to get quite a lot of shoulder ache. I think I've worked out a much more comfortable position for myself, so I don't seem to get that as much. And I also try to have a bit of a rest from diamond painting every hour or so, just to wiggle my shoulders, move my legs, and just keep moving. Whereas when I was doing the Josephine walls, I would sit for hours, and that's when I was starting to get shoulder ache, which would actually happen more at night. The pain in my shoulders would sort of, I don't know if it's because you stop at night and you're more aware of it, but yeah, it used to hurt. Going into this deep dark green. I'll pop my tray here because I've just realised that using this translucent tray means you probably won't see the colours as easily. But I do love this tray from Diamond Art Club because it is slightly sturdier and deeper. I find them really good to use. Of course, it always helps having the release papers underneath so you can see, because if you're here, it's harder, I think. So another little exciting event happened during this week where Diamond Art Club announced these mystery boxes. You know, the ones with, was it 6 diamond paintings in them? And people were so excited, and I must admit that I was excited about hearing about them until they announced what time they would be available. Because here in the UK, they were going to be available between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. So I know some much more dedicated diamond painters than me will have set their alarms and got these mystery boxes, but there was no way I was going to do that. So I missed out on the mystery boxes, and I'm going to say, Diamond Art Club, please, if you do another one, please, if you do a UK release specifically, please do it so that we can all have a chance, you know. But kudos to those that did do that and got their mystery boxes. They did sound fabulous. I think if I hadn't have been at work the next day, I probably would have got up and ordered them, to be fair. But yeah, no, not when I was having to get to work. So I like my sleep too much. But it's been so interesting to see the variety of the different boxes. And yeah. So tell me, did you get a box? Were you happy with what you got inside? Would you have chosen every kit? It's been so interesting. On Facebook, people are posting their kits and what they thought of them. I know some sellers are selling on the ones that they wouldn't like to do. So I suppose by doing that, everybody gets the chance to own one of the kits that they would have got in the box if they didn't buy the box itself, if that makes sense. And I know that Diamond Art Club are releasing some of the designs for general sale as well. Also, for the first time this week, I joined the Diamond Art Club Facebook page, and there was a post on about voting for your favourite designs. I've never done that before either, and I did this week. So that was something new too. Just making sure these are nicely squared up, because I think I had one diamond too many on my multiplacer then. I think that might be the end of her face. Let's do the C code. So yesterday morning, I went for a lovely walk around the field, which you may well have seen on one of my videos. It's looking very different at the moment because the field has now been harvested. There were lots of horses in the field next to it as well. Absolutely beautiful. And as I was walking, I noticed things in the hedgerow. I was taking time to really sort of ground myself, and I think especially after the Queen's funeral, I think, you know, I felt a bit maudlin, and I thought, right, you know, as I'm walking along, I want to be thankful for where I am and all of that sort of thing. So I took some time looking at the hedgerows and delighting in nature. You know, just doing the whole thank you to the universe. Aren't I lucky for this? Yes, I recognise I've got that, and thank you very much, and all of that I do day to day anyway. But doing it out in nature really struck a chord with me. So try doing that. If you're feeling a little bit low, then try just having a look outside the window and, you know, being thankful for the birds or the whatever makes you happy. I find such joy in nature. There's always something to notice. So as I was walking along and looking in the hedgerows, I noticed all sorts of things like the berries to feed the birds in winter sticking out of the hedgerow, and the pathway has 2 tracks either side of it, and in the middle of the track is grass, and in the grass I noticed lots of dandelions, and I was just about to take a step, and as I looked down there was a gorgeous little bee sat in one of the dandelions, and I just thought it was so cute. I did take a photo of it, and I didn't squish him, thankfully, because had I not been looking I might well have stood on him. So I took a little photo of him, stepped aside and let him get on with smelling the flowers. And then it made me think about when I was a little girl, and we used to look for the dandelion heads to tell the time and blow all the seeds everywhere. And as I was walking up that pathway, I noticed there was the absolutely most perfect dandelion head with all the seeds, and so I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick one. So I picked this dandelion and I filmed it and I looked at it and I thought it is the most beautiful shape with all of the little seeds and the pattern that it makes, and I really delighted in the fact that I knew I was going to blow the seeds away, and it just gave me such a strong feeling of childhood, that nostalgia and that joy of finding a seed head and blowing it. So I looked at it for a little while, smiling to myself, and then I took a big deep breath and I blew the seeds. It was so joyful, it really was. It's funny, isn't it, what we remember from childhood and the nostalgia of it and the feeling it gives you, just remembering that innocence. And I thought, you know, a lot of people think dandelions are so ugly because they are classed as weeds, aren't they? And we don't particularly want them growing in the garden, in the lawn, but they are beautiful when they turn to seed. And actually they're beautiful before the seeds come because they have that gorgeous yellow flower. So I am thinking of keeping a little patch of dandelions in my garden. Now I say a little patch because as we know, dandelions, when the seed heads spread everywhere, can spread quite easily. So I might have to try and cultivate the weeds and make a little dandelion patch. And I think the bees would absolutely love that. So I'd be helping them at the same time. I was going to trim. I've got a big buddleia bush in my front garden, and I was going to trim it back this week. However, as I was watching the Queen's funeral during the day, I noticed that there are still a lot of the beautiful little white butterflies fluttering about, and they love that buddleia bush. So I haven't trimmed it because I thought, well, maybe they still need that at the moment. It's been so warm and sunny in the UK that maybe it's a bit too early to be trimming it back. So I've left it for now. However, we have like a garden recycling service which you pay for each year, and it stops in, I think it's November. So I will definitely have to trim it all back before then, otherwise I won't have the garden rubbish collected. We put it in a really big, it's like a wheelie bin, and when you cut the lawn you can put grass cuttings into it, and same when you trim any garden shrubbery down and things like that, or leaves or whatever, they can all go into this garden recycling wheelie bin, and then the council come and they empty it for you, a bit like the weekly bin collection, but it's every 2 weeks. Yeah, but it only runs from, I think it might be April to November. I think that's right. And as I say, not everybody gets it because you do have to pay for the service each year. So I definitely need to do it before then. But it seems a shame if the little creatures are still flitting around. Because again, I've got lavender in the back garden. I've got 2 lavender bushes, and the bees are still on the lavender. So again, that's going to be left for now. I'm going to have to get a lot in my recycling bin before it finishes. All right, just filling in these beautiful red touches. You hear the clicking into place. I love that. I do have my magpie feather beside me still. No sweeties in it and no junk in it either. So I did have a suggestion that might be a good place to keep my diamond painting pen, which is a great idea and one that I didn't think about. So I might have to change that into a diamond pen holder. It might get a bit more use than a junk tray when I'm doing Diamond Art Club. Although I have to say it was a perfect size for sweeties. I don't have any sweeties with me today because I wasn't really expecting to do a WIP and Chat. I thought I'd be doing lots of cleaning, etc. So a bit of a bonus this. Nice to get a little section done. Just look how stunning these reds are. Really, really beautiful. I'm just wondering, oh no, I've still got a bit of time. I was wondering then whether I should stop and show you the full picture, but I'll get these in because I definitely want to show you, after promising especially the middle of this canvas. feel like I'm rushing now because I'm going to finish this colour and then I'm going to show you. And I'm excited to show you what has been done so far. Oh, and something I did need to tell you as well. Do you remember me unboxing my Magic Faraway Tree canvas? Well, unfortunately, that is a bit of a sad story because the canvas is not really a joy to work on. So I did try, I have done a section. I may well put a photograph or a video within this one so you can see. I was very disappointed. I'm disappointed, but I don't know if it's bad enough to stop. I just don't like to see the lines in between the diamonds. For me, see this section here, that looks right. They're sitting nicely. So what I think happens is when we get to a thick line like this blue one here and this one here, it creates a gap where you can see the line through here. And it's, I wonder if it's, I'm not sure where, but I'm not sure why I've got such a big gap here. I don't know, because the line actually goes there. But it has bothered me a little bit. It has made me a little bit sad because I was so looking forward to this canvas. And I don't know if that spoilt it for me. I am being completely honest, and I know that I am very fussy when it comes to diamond painting. I've got popping drills, I've got where they don't sit flush to each other. You can see the grid through the diamonds. It made me feel so sad that I have put it away. I will be purchasing a different one, so watch out for another unboxing on that. I just could not face pursuing a canvas that I wasn't happy with when it's such a special picture. So yeah, that is a bit sad news really, but I have had an idea how I can use that canvas in a different way, so keep tuned. Do subscribe to my channel, please. And I will follow up on that at a later date. So yeah, it's not good, is it, when we get disappointing canvases? And honestly, diamond painting is supposed to bring you joy and excitement, and it's not really supposed to be a chore, is it? That's not what it's meant for. So I did wonder whether to continue, and I just thought, no, not with this picture. I might as well finish the X's, then I've done this little bit. Isn't it always the same that we do these diamond paintings, just finish this little bit and I'll just finish that little bit. Oh dear. Before we know it, I'll be uncovering another section. No, I'll be good. I'll do this and then I will show you the canvas, I promise. Oh dear. Oh, I do love these Diamond Art Club canvases. I know, I think I say it in a WIP and Chat every time, but I do. I just love the way they all push together. So even if you are slightly off with your multi-placing, they will probably push themselves into the right place. And that click, oh, fabulous. And that's what we want when we're working on a diamond painting. We want to feel like it's incredible. Okay, we finished that little section. So now, as promised, I will show you the canvas. Oh my goodness, just look at that. Oh, I just think it is fantastic. And I know we've seen the top of the canvas here before, so I'm going to focus in to this middle bit. Pay particular attention to the eyes here. Oh, they're gorgeous. Look at this. This part of the canvas is stunning. Her lips, the eyes, the rainbow running through, the lip details here. It's like little tiny bits of it have been picked out with AB, and I really hope that you can see where those ABs sit to show the detail. I'm going to get you an even closer view. Just look at the eye here with those ABs there. Look at the nose, the lips with those ABs. And then on Poison Ivy, we've got a touch of AB here and here. And those little highlights of ABs are the most beautiful points in the whole canvas. Look how well these diamonds sit together in these faces here. We have these points of colours through the middle of the picture, but all over this canvas are just different colours picking out the most extraordinary details. And the AB in Harley Quinn's hair, and then this beautiful Poison Ivy in Poison Ivy's hair, but the hair itself is orange with this AB streaking through. Look at the shoulder detail of Harley Quinn here. Just these points of colour and interest throughout the whole canvas are stunning, just stunning. And it's so beautiful to work on. Thank you for joining me for this WIP and Chat today. I hope that you've got lots of your own diamond painting done at the same time, and I hope that you've enjoyed seeing the Partners in Crime canvas from Diamond Art Club. Please do consider subscribing, liking and commenting. You know I always love to hear what you're up to. Until next time, enjoy your own diamond painting. Take care everyone.